Hello, everyone. Welcome to Transpotting. I'm your host, Marcia. This is not my regular voice.
I am your other host, Ruth.
And I'm your third host, last but not least important, Celeste.
We have a lovely episode for you today.
Oh my god.
Don't forget to file your paperwork, Wazowski.
God.
Anyway, I think that's enough of that.
I challenge you to do the whole episode in that voice.
Don't challenge me to do something that you'll regret.
Your voice will be shot at the end of the day if you do that.
I wouldn't even close to it. It'll be fine.
Oh my god.
This whole thing has been a setup for me to do my voice acting reel.
So there you go.
This is your tape.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to Transpotting. My name's Marcia, and we're excited for all of you to join us today. I'm joined by Riv, Celeste, and we're going to be talking about probably, I think the topic that we chose for this season is what will it look like when we're done with the transition, and how will that be different from where we're at and where we started, and what will be the signs that we'll recognize when we see that. Is there anything else that... And the other things will probably come up organically, so
Yeah.
we'll have our little conversation.
Yeah, we'll just be chit-chatting.
Okay, so first question I have for both of you. What percentage would you say are you away from being finished with your transition? And I put finished in quotation marks because, you know, there's a certain amount of just your lived experience that's always going to be part of that. But for, like, from where you are to where you feel like you'll be satisfied, where's your percentage?
I think it's a really complicated question. And it's not...
It is.
It's a moving
But-
target, I feel like, too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, some days, I feel like I'm basically there. Like, I'm very satisfied with where I'm at, all of the really cool changes I've had. There are still things in the future I'm looking forward to, as I've mentioned on the podcast before, like bottom surgery. But, like, beyond that, I don't really know what finishing looks like. I don't know if I'll ever be like, done. Like, I think bottom surgery for me will be the closest I'll ever come to that, because everything after that will be pretty, I don't want to say superficial, but unimportant to who I am as a person, if that makes sense. I'm just about to hit my 2-year on hormones here in a couple weeks, and
Congratulations!
Congrats!
thank you. It was just a couple days ago. It came up on my Time Hop, because I'm a loser and I still use Time Hop. That 2 years ago, I took a screenshot of me making my Planned Parenthood appointment, and that was really cool, and like that was really scary at the time. And now I'm super comfy with who I am as a person. Like, there are things I would change, physical things I would change, but ultimately, I like where I'm at, and I mostly consider myself done. I feel comfortable going out without makeup almost all the time. Like today, I don't have any makeup on. Please sub to our Patreon so you can see me without makeup. And and yeah, I'm good. It's some of that is a product of my environment. Like, I'm in a safe place now where I get to kind of just exist as I am, and that's pretty cool. And I guess weaving into that a little bit, we've talked a bit about like and fairness and being a girl with a sprinkle on top, you know? And I think as time has gone on for me, for all of that, I think I'm becoming more of a quote-unquote boring binary girl.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I think some of that is just a product of my safe environment that I'm in. I'm safe at home, and I've been safe at home my entire transition, but I'm safe in public too. And I feel safe in public for the most part. So.
Okay. How about you, Riv?
Oh, it's layered. There's a lot to explore there. But yeah, I identified a lot of that same stuff that Sel said. And just for our listeners out there, it's okay to be a basic bitch. It's really okay.
Oh yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Dry
I
humor
like
strikes
pumpkin
again.
spice lattes, and I like driving Subaru Foresters. Actually, I don't have one of those.
Right.
If
I
I
don't
did.
drink coffee anymore, but the only thing I miss about it is pumpkin spice lattes. So maybe I'll try some decaf.
Get your decaf.
That sounds
Live,
gross.
laugh, love.
My mom had that like stenciled on our wall back in Tennessee. No
I'm so
lie.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna go through some timeline stuff here. Okay, so it's gonna be 3 years on HRT on November 20th. So almost there. Had bottom surgery at the end of last January or end of this January. Wow, I feel like I've had this pussy forever.
Well, you kind of have. It just hasn't
Yeah.
always looked like that.
Oh, by the way, Ash says hi. And I bring up Ash
Hi,
because they
Ash.
always, yeah, they're the best. They always tell me
Hi,
that
Ash.
it's always been there. We just excavated it. I was like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. And then they usually do an old timey prospector kind of voice after that.
Naturally.
Yeah, they're also a great voice actor. Okay, and let's see, the boobs are coming in nice. So, that's happening.
Oops.
I don't know. I'm in general, I think most days I'm pretty comfy in my body and my face and my voice. But then there's maybe a day or a week where I'm just like, oh, I want everything to change. Nothing's good enough. I want to get FFS. I want to get a nose job. I'm like, you just got a big nose, girl. It's fine. Just don't worry about it. I think for me, when I think I will, at least how I feel right now, I think I will feel like I am done when I've got facial hair removal completely done. So I've got like 75% of it, and the 25% of it left is just the most stubborn. Oh my God, I hate it. But we're getting there slowly but surely. And I think once that is done, I'm gonna be happy to just sit back and not spend $150 every 2 weeks and let the HRT continue to do its stuff. So I look back even like 3 months from now, and I'm like, wow, that's a world of difference in my face and body. And yeah, it's just gonna keep happening, right? It's just like its thing.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Marcia?
It's interesting how you say, well, I'm not quite as far along as you two are. I'm going to have my 2-year hormone anniversary in March of next year. So it's still a little bit of a ways away for me. But it's kind of interesting because as you were saying how, like Sel was saying, she's becoming more of a basic bitch. I almost am feeling like the other way where it's like, no, I like expressing this like masculine non-binary side of me more. And as I start to kind of see, especially at work right now, like, because I answer a lot of phones, I kind of do reception work, and I like get gendered as ma'am like all the time on the phone. And when people come in and I've got my, makeup on and I'm looking nice, I'm like passing almost all the time. I think part of it is like in a town like this, people just don't really expect to see a trans person working there. And so they don't, And so it's like really easy for me to just kind of like blend in. And as I've got to blend in more and just be like, it's like, okay, this is nice. But also there's this side of me that's like excited to, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought.
You lost your plane of thought.
Wants to express myself in like ways that you might not necessarily do as a basic bitch. a basic girl. I like kind of having that extra spicy non-binary layer on top, and I think I might lean a little bit harder into that in the future, so we'll see. I think for me, I really would like to get FFS. That's like kind of my holy grail, more so than any other thing. But, and then outside of that, I'd like it if my boobs were a little bigger, and I'd like it if I had a nice ass, which I probably have to exercise to get, and I haven't been doing that lately. But then I feel like there's just going to be a point where it's like, okay, this body is just me, and it's like the parts of it, it's beautiful, and it is what it is, and there's parts of it that I'm unsatisfied with, but there's parts of every single person's body that they're unsatisfied with. You don't have to be trans to have that unsatisfactory feeling. So I think for me, as I've been getting closer to this 2-year anniversary, I've been just kind of more and more recognizing that I am at home in my body, no matter how happy or unhappy I am with it, and just choosing to exist as whatever it is I am.
Good for
And
you.
there's something really
I love
freeing
that.
about that and lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I have friends who call me they them, and it's really affirming to me. So
Hell yeah.
I like the she her, and I like the they them, and about the same amount here. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And I feel like that's one of the shitty things about passing is like, well, maybe I don't want to be invisible. Ever think about that society? Maybe I want to be in your face. Maybe I do want to shove it down your throat a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel more of the. I know I don't look like it, but I'm starting to feel more of that non-binary part kind of seep into the Fae part. Letting my voice relax a little bit more and not really worrying and dressing however the fuck I want. Usually it's pretty gothy, and people are just like, "What are you doing? You're 30 something something."
Hey, it's never too old to be a gothy.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
The only difference is the difference between a goth and everybody else is a goth celebrates Halloween all year.
You're goddamn right they do.
Real.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Just festivities.
Festivities. But yeah, I deeply identify with the whole idea of sometimes maybe we're not actually necessarily feeling the dysphoria. Maybe, we're to a point where like everyone has issues with their body as well. And yeah, there's a fine line there. But there's this one creator on TikTok, and I their name escapes me right now, but on one of their videos, they were like, when I feel dysphoric or I feel dysmorphic or anything, I just try to think of myself as a little creature. I'm just a little creature. It's just my body. I'm just a creature. I have no expectations on me. Doing the best I can. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. I was talking with somebody else who was cis, and it was about, we were talking about playing video games. And she really likes dressing up in all the cute outfits in video games. And I was like, oh, I really used to like to do that too. And then I kind of transitioned, and then all of a sudden it got really fun to do it in real life. And then now I'm starting to go back to, oh, it's fun to do it in video games too. But she was like, yeah, part of the reason I don't like to is because I don't have the body type to do all those cute outfits. And I didn't even think about that. But same. Some of those cute outfits that I'd love to wear just don't really have the body type for. But that is common to humans, not just trans people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think as I start to get into the problems that are just kind of like problems that people have, less so than problems that trans people have, that's when I'll be done with my transition.
Yeah. That's such a hard line to find. Like, what is that? It's a really hard distinction to make because, we're all wrapped up in our own business all the time so much, and it's really easy to always put, oh, this sucks because I'm trans. And sometimes it's actually just, no, this sucks because I'm a human being, and basically all other human beings, at least in the culture that we live in, has these same issues. And
it's complex because sometimes the things that suck a little harder for people who are trans. It's like when I was job searching, for instance, and I know there were some jobs where I mean, there's no way to say for sure, but it was probably like, oh, this is a trans person. We'd probably rather not have her. And then, but also just jobs hunting sucks in general. And it's really easy to be like, try to blame it on something like you can't control, like being trans, when maybe that just didn't have anything to do with their decision at all. You know, personally, it's easy. There was a time where it was easy for me to be frustrated and kind of blame that, and that's why I was having no success. When I don't know that that's always the case.
Completely get that.
Mm-hmm.
Completely get that. I know a weird little thing that I think one of the biggest things that's hit me recently of why I'm feeling more comfortable, and it's such a small thing, but my hair has finally reached a length that like it's like where I want it to be. It's no longer like, oh, I'm just speed running growing this thing out because it's so curly it takes fucking forever for it to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've not had like a real haircut in like over 2 years. And like, oh, so like I'm able to see what I want, what I've wanted to see for so long in the mirror just by my hair. And that was something I really struggled with early on, of just like, oh, I just gotta fucking wait because there's nothing I can do about it.
I mean, honestly, the hair
nice
is a
to be here.
big thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
When
So I don't know.
got
It's
back
such a
from-
such
I
a
like
little
your
thing,
hair.
but
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. I
Your
like my
hair's
hair
great.
too. It's a bitch to take care of, and this is a little bit of a tangent. I just got some new stuff for my hair. I got 2 different products, and then one of them, I'm pretty sure it's the new gel I got, caused a horrific allergic reaction on my ear. So
No.
my ear is like
Oh, no.
bright red and scaly, and yeah, so that's fun.
It's going to turn you into the lizard from Spider-Man.
Yep. That's me.
Well, at least
Lizard.
at that point, you can regenerate anything you need to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Regenerate that hair.
There you go.
Finally have that green skin I always wanted.
Perfect.
Wait, I don't think you'd have hair though if you were a lizard. So I take it back.
Oh shit, wait.
That's right. It would fall out. But you'd have your green skin, so it's a fair
I
trade.
would have my green skin.
Now I'm imagining the lizard from Spider-Man wearing like a really long wig.
Im- Imagine Lizards is the less successful band of Imagine Dragons.
It is. Is their really shitty cover band?
It's a shitty cover band.
Imagine lizards.
No, I can't aim for dragons. We're not that good. Just lizards.
We're trying to be realistic here.
I'll imagine lizards all I want.
Oh.
No one's stopping you. Wait,
The
are you
thought
doing it right
police.
now? The eyebrows.
I feel bad whenever I do like facial expressions because people listening can't hear those. So
That's
you're
why
going to
I
have to describe
I say them out loud. That's what I do.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Listeners, Marcia is raising her eyebrows in a suggestive manner, suggesting that she is imagining lizards.
Yes.
That's the name of the episode. There we go. We got it.
That is the name of the episode. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, we planned that all along, listeners.
We actually script our entire episode.
The more you say that, the more untrue it sounds.
I've got my notes right here. I'm just reading off of my notes.
Yeah.
That's why I've got a second monitor, duh.
Yeah, that we can't
Do you
see
know what?
because, you know.
Would be the other thing that will be when I'm done with transitioning is when I don't feel like I'm a second-class citizen in Florida because we've taken over Florida.
You have better hopes than I do.
We've turned it into a little gay communist socialist paradise with
We really need a
ethical
trans flag with like skull and crossbones on it.
ethical pansexual gay space communism, and we'll found it in Florida.
Gay space commune. Wait, is So gay is modifying space in that sentence. So is space gay or is the communism gay?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Both,
okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And it's space because it's sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
It's science fiction. We can write about what we want to happen in science fiction rather than what is happening.
Yes, in science fiction, only in science fiction will we have Florida stop being run
Florida.
Correct.
by that jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That stuff can
Yeah.
be a real downer because, like, my parents live in Florida, and I just recently had to tell them, like, hey, I can't visit you anymore. Like, I can't. When I fly into the airport, I am not allowed to use the correct bathroom. So, like, I can't come visit you anymore. So,
There's a reason it has a do not travel advisory for trans people.
Yeah.
and that sucks.
It's terrifying, honestly.
Mhm. And it's just
When you
like,
think of the poor people who are stuck there.
Our hearts go out to you.
Yeah.
absolutely. It's just
It
like,
sucks that there's a refugee crisis in our own borders.
and what's wild is most people don't know. My parents have a trans daughter, and they were unaware of this fact until I told them that this had gone in place, that this was happening. And, like, they just moved there a couple years ago, so I don't know. But it's just like, wow, it would kind of be nice to be ignorant and not have to pay attention to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I miss about, being an ignorant little egg. And just, like, I could avoid it. I lived in, a lot of privilege. I was, white and I guess boy passing. So,
Yeah, going from being perceived as a cis male in society to being perceived as a woman, and then also everything that's the trans experience on top of that, it's
a lot.
you already know what it's hard to understand the kind of like social stigma, maybe, until you kind of start to go through it yourself as a non-protected class. Because really the only protected class we have in America is probably, cis white men. And so then when everybody else is complaining, you're like, oh, I don't see that in my own life. But I'm sure it's true for you. And then when you experience it yourself, you're like, oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's very strange.
Mm-hmm.
I, like, almost never get perceived as a boy anymore, and I can tell just by how people interact with me. And it's especially interesting. It's always hard to tell. In Tennessee, when I lived in Tennessee, I could always tell on someone's face whether I passed or not. Like, it was an obvious thing. Now that I live somewhere where there are lots of trans people out, I would guess that the average cis person here can clock a trans person a lot easier than someone living some hillbilly in East Tennessee is able to clock a trans person. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I probably pass less here than I did back in Tennessee, but I'm treated with respect here. So,
Yeah, you're treated like a person.
yeah.
Just some damage control listeners. If you live in Tennessee, we are not calling you a hillbilly. Thank you.
Oh, you are a hillbilly. I lived there. I'm allowed to call them that.
Oh, no.
Sorry, derogatorily.
Term of
There's
endearment?
there's hillbillies all across America, not just in
there-
Tennessee.
And there are plenty here in Vermont too. So yeah,
That's fair.
I'm just kidding. Vermont's, northern hillbilly.
Hillbillies are honestly one of the most discriminated classes in America.
Jesus Christ.
So that reminds me. So there's a comedian that I love. I followed him for many years called the Liberal Redneck. I love
Yeah.
this guy. He covers trans issues. He covers gay issues, and he talks about how, like, the real, like, redneck outlook is about, not trusting the cops and just letting people live their lives. And, like, that's what he's all about. And he's really cool. I recommend him for those. He's on Twitter and probably other places. I don't know.
Nice. I have some friends that would probably like that. I've got some real queer redneck friends, which is kind of fun.
And he's got that deep Southern accent. It's good. It's good.
Deep Southern accents are cute when you can understand them.
I had to move away in order to start liking them because it's all you hear, and it just you start feeling kind of insane.
Well, I'm glad you got out of that. It sounds like a very difficult situation for you.
It's so scary being surrounded by Southern accents, let me tell you.
I experienced it for a summer, and that was enough.
Has touched you.
Mm-hmm. Touched my heart.
Okay. Gross.
In a bad way.
In a bad way.
Oh.
I want to go back to talking about hair for a second because I'm very.
Okay.
And also, I think it's funny that you use the term superficial when you were talking about the end, quote unquote, end of your transition, because the end of mine is superficial. It's skin deep because of the hair follicles. Get it? I'm funny, damn it.
You sure are. We love you, Riv.
When I got out of the hospital,
2 drums and a cymbal fall off a cliff, and Riv is there to make a joke.
Oh my god. Every time. So regarding hair, when I got out of the hospital for bottom surgery, my hair was like down to my boobs, right? But I was in the hospital for 9 days and my hair was completely knotted and tangled and wrecked because I have really fine hair. Yeah, I do. I have really fine hair.
Hell yeah.
I believe you.
So
I mean, I can see that it's self-evident.
Right? I chopped it to like here, like right at my jawline because it was just so damaged. So we still, Ash, for witchy reasons, saved the big long bundle of hair, and I miss it. Oh, I miss my long hair so much. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Yeah.
In that sense, I envy like wavy or straight hair because my hair is like this long. It's like just under my chin, but like I can pull it down to my nipples. Like it's ridiculous. It's frustrating.
Nipple length hair is the dream.
Nipple.
Very specifically.
I want to be able to get out of the pool or out of the ocean naked and have the hair cover my nipples like some kind of mermaid.
Yeah. Pull off a Little Mermaid. Absolutely.
And then the rest of the time it'll just be in my face.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
If I drive with more than one window open in the car, just everywhere.
I honestly don't mind having it hit me in the face.
It pisses me off. It pisses me off.
It pisses me off so much.
Ponytails all the time. I live in ponytails.
I think it's more like there was a long time that I just didn't have long hair that I wanted it. And so now when it hits me in the face, I'm like, ah!
Do that noise again. Thank you. I'm putting it at the very end of the episode. Just a little.
Oh dear. We're having. Okay.
That was just a slowed down version of it.
I guess you're editing this episode.
I guess.
I
Hair.
still am learning to be happy with how I am, even when I'm not spending a lot of time working on how I look. Do you know what I mean?
I don't. Can you extrapolate?
So, for example, in the last apartment complex that I lived in, I didn't feel comfortable leaving my apartment unless I had, spent time doing my makeup, had a nice clothes on, and, at least put effort into my appearance. And now where I'm living is a bit more liberal, and I can just walk out without makeup, without even wearing a bra necessarily, and just kind of, not have to worry about how I'm perceived by people there. And to me, I think that that's something that's really, like, I used to have a little bit of fear around that, and fear of being perceived as something that I wasn't, or fear of being perceived as, like, somebody who's fear of being perceived in a way that I didn't want to be perceived. And now I'm starting to get more and more into that. Oh, it doesn't really matter how people perceive me. I'm just who I am. And that's kind of a fun, freeing feeling.
For sure.
Gods, I wish I were there. I wish I were there. I'm definitely not there yet. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Probably the trauma. Yeah. But good for you. That's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Being able to do that and feel that way. And liberating, I imagine.
Yeah, it's still a little bit scary, but then also I keep doing it and there's nothing bad happening, so then you get a little bit more
I feel
confident.
There you go.
That's pretty similar to how I am. I remember, I don't know, it was when I was up here in Vermont, it was one random time that I was like, I need to go out and grab something from the store, but I really don't want to go put makeup on. And so I didn't, and like, it was just like, I got mammed the whole way through it. And it was just like, oh, maybe I am comfortable doing this. And then I just kind of go, and there's no specific timeline that it takes to get to a point like that. It relies so much on the environment around you. It relies on how you feel about yourself, because there are absolutely days I'm like, there's no way I would leave this house without doing something, because like we all have days like that where it just all the stuff isn't feeling quite right and you don't want to put that out there. And yeah, I'm rambling a bit because I lost my end point.
Something that I think is really important for us and everybody to know is that you are allowed to take up space. And you are allowed to... Good job. You are allowed to, Riv is dancing around, taking up large amounts of space. You're allowed to do that, yes, as is your right.
Marcia told me I can do it.
I did, yes.
Marcia said...
I did, yes.
But you're
if
able
anybody
to do
has
that
a problem with
without
that,
being
they can come to me.
I see.
I'll set him straight. Or I'll set him gay, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for correcting yourself.